Hello and welcome to this video. Now in this video, we are going to discuss about lambda expressions and also we are going to discuss about map and filter functions. So before going to discuss about lambda expressions, so let us discuss about map and filter functions. So I'll be opening my Jupyter notebook. So this is my Jupyter notebook. So first of all, we will be going to discuss about map function. Okay. So what a map function does, I would say, I would just define a function named as def square. The name of the function is square, and I would say I would give a parameter that is num. All right, and I would say return num to the power 2, and I would run it. You can say I successfully ran this function. So now I would let's prepare a list of numbers that contains 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so now what I want to do is I want to get all the squares of the number that is in my list. Alright, so for that I have to do a for loop in order to get all the squares of my numbers in this nums list. Alright, so I would say, so if I would not by not by using the for loop, so I will be using a function called map function, that is a built-in function in Python. All right, so I would say map, okay, the name of the function, and parsing an argument as nums. So what does this mean? Like, I am mapping my square function. All right, so there is a map in between my square function to my nums list. All right, so if I would just run it, you can see it gives like something like a cryptic message over here saying that this function is a map function which is saved at this memory location of your computer. All right, so if you want to like get the all the squares of the numbers right in this list, so I need to loop over here, like I would say for I in map print I. So if I would print it, you can see I got all the squares of the numbers that is existing in my list. So 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, and so on. 5 square is 25. Alright, so this is how we can use a map function. Okay, so let me show you another example over here. Let me define a function named as check even. Alright, so I'll be passing like a parameter, so that name is my string. Okay, so now I'll be giving a condition, that is like I would say if length of my string is divisible by 2, or you can say it's an even number, I would say return even. Else, if it's not a even number, or you can say its modulus 2 is not equals 0, modulus, and I think my string modulus 2 not equals 0, I would say return my string inside square braces. I will be giving a 0. That means it will return the first character in my string. So if I will run it, you can see I successfully ran my function, and then I would say like names. So I will be declaring a list of names in which I will be giving that Somesh, Rakesh, you can say Ram, and I would say anything else, like you can say like Frank. All right, okay, so now I will run it. Okay, all right, you can see what I will do, that I will be running a loop and using the map function to print out that, to check that which of the string has a length of even, the length of the string is an even number. All right, so I would say for n in, then I would say map. All right, so I will be passing my function first, check even, and then to my names. All right, print n. You can see that only Rakesh, the string Rakesh has the length of the length of the string Rakesh is an even number, and everything else is an odd number. So it is printing out the index, like the first index of the, like you can say the index value 0, which is S over here and R over here and F over Frank. All right, so you can see I can sort out which string has a length that is an even number. All right, the length of the string is an even number. Okay, so this was all about how to use and represent map function inside your Python code. All right, so let's move on to the filter function. So filter function is like, I would again define this function over here. I would say, no, let me just declare another function like same check even number. All right, I'll be passing num and I'll be returning num modulus 2 less than 0. All right, so I just declared a function, I just defined a function named as check even number, which have a parameter of num, which and the function will be when the function will be called, it will be returning num modulus 2 is equals 0. All right, so if I would run it, you can say I successfully ran this function, and then I would say, then I would use the filter function over here. All right, so I would say so let me just first of all declare a list of numbers. So I would say numbers. All right, and here is my numbers list. I would say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 up to 10. All right, so I declared 10 items in my list, which are integer, ranging from 1 to 10, and I would run it again, and then I will be applying the filter function over here. All right, so I would say for I, I would say for n in, you can say filter my function name, which is check even number and numbers. Then I would say print n. You can say it's printing only the even numbers over here, like 2 4 6 8 and 10. So if I just give the condition over here like not equals to 0, you can see it's printing out all the odd numbers in this list. All right, so this is how a filter function works. Okay, so the filter function can also have much more, you can say, way of representation, or you can say much more way of implementation. So I just showed you a basic example of a filter function, so you can apply filter functions like in many of the function that you want. All right, so let me just delete these lines of code, and let us come to lambda expressions. So lambda expressions, like we just learned over here, map function and also filter function. All right, so in order to teach you lambda expression, so let me just tell you something about lambda expressions in like one line. So lambda expressions are generally anonymous function, that means it can be used only once. All right, so I will just show you the representation, or you can say the syntax of the lambda expressions by defining a function. So we will first defining a function, then we will be modifying the function into a lambda expression. All right. Let's start. Now I would say def add, all right, and I would give a parameter of like x, all right. Then I would say result equals x plus 2, all right, and then I will say return result. Okay, now if I would just run this function and call add and 5, you can see the output is 7. So what does this basically do? Like result equals x plus 2. So whatever argument I will pass over this function, it will be added by 2 and return the result. So it give me output of 7. Alright, fine. So let us convert this function into a lambda expression. So let us first simplify this function. So instead of declaring the result over here, simply I can say say return x plus 2. All right. So this will be the same way of like this is the most simplified way of the previous representation. So now what we will do is like simplify this piece of code into like lambda expression. So you'll be using the lambda expression over here in this function. So let me show you how to do that. So without like writing this thing like def and add, I would be simply using lambda x, and we'll be not using this, we'll be no more using this return keyword. So this statement means lambda x colon x plus 2. All right, so I will just name it as add equals lambda x, which will be returning x plus 2, and then if I would run it, you can see it's doing the same thing. So we just simplified the function into a one line statement that is looking so much clean. All right, so you can use this kind of expressions in your Python code to make your code look more beautiful. All right, more beautiful and more cleaner than the previous one. All right, so this is how you can use lambda functions in your Python. Okay, so let us try to use lambda function over here. All right, now I will say, so we'll be using the filter function and the lambda function. So let us try it. All right, now I will just copy this function over here. All right, so let us simplify this function. Okay, now I would say that it can be written as this. All right, so okay, this kind of syntax, like this kind of representation is always like also acceptable in Python, but it's like it's not recommended by me, or you can say it's not recommended by most of the developers to declare like define this type of functions, the function in this way. So it's not the actual styling of Python code. All right, so let us simplify this function into a lambda expression. All right, now I would say instead of using this return keyword, and we will giving a colon, and we'll be just erasing this one and say lambda num modulus 2 is not equals 0, and I would say, let me just take what name the function, check even number. Okay, I'm sorry, check even number. All right, so if I would say that, so I just declared a variable like check even number, which contains a lambda expression over here. Then I will just copy the numbers list over here and paste it over here, and then I'll be calling this lambda expression, like I would say, you can say for I in filter. All right. So instead of using this one, I can say that for I in filter lambda, okay, num modulus 2 is not equals 0, print. It's not indenting, I don't know why. Filter expected two arguments. Okay, numbers. You can say I can filter my, like I would say, so instead of writing this whole statement over here, I can say that check even number. Also it can say for I filter check even number. So I just simplified this function into this one statement. All right, now so this in this video I just explained you how to use a map function, then how to use a filter function, and how to use lambda expressions. All right, so also we can use lambda expressions by using this map function too. So what should I do? Let me show you. So square equals lambda x to the power 2, and I would run it, and I would say numbers. All right, and I would say you can say for I in map square numbers, print I. All right, so you can see I printed out all the squares of the numbers. All right, but so by simplifying this function into a lambda expression, I can also get the same output. All right, so this was all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.